What's going on, everyone? So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to use Next.js with Material UI, and it's not just going to be placing a button on the screen or something very simple. It's going to be pretty actually in detail. So when I say in detail, we're going to create something very cool, a menu for a video game. I'm going to show you guys soon, but we're going to go ahead and create a custom theme, custom components, and you will see how to do it properly. So without wasting time, let me just show you what I've built, and here we go. Yes, so as you can see, this is a futuristic kind of menu for a video game, and this is entirely created with a custom component. The border, as you can see, for this menu, and then the buttons. These are all custom made, and as you can see, also the corners, you can see the material doesn't come like this, so we have to do our own magic. And then look at the hover state, they kind of go in, and when I click on them, boom, the state comes here. So how cool is this? So yeah, just let's just jump right into it then. All right, so here I am in my terminal, and what I will do is I will just create a next project. So I'll do npx create next app, and we will do at latest. All right, so we're gonna call it next MUI app, like that, and we'll just go and say yes to everything. Awesome. All right, so now let's just go into it. So I'll say next MUI app, like that, and let's just open it in VS Code. Boom, right here. All right, so it's all up and running. And how about we fire it up? I think I can do this, and what I'll do is I'll say npm run dev. All right, great. So it's running on 3000. So let's check that out. So I'll come here. We're gonna go to 3000. All right. So here's your next app, and then here's VS Code. So let's go to app, go to page.tsx. Let's just put them side by side. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this main, and then let's go ahead and do h1. We will say Next.js plus, we'll just say MUI app, like that, save it. Great, so it's coming here. All right, so now we need to install a couple of things, but I think I should increase the font size. All right, so you're gonna come to the Material UI installation page, and it's got the emotion style components, and let me increase this, and then the style components. So you do not want to use this because it's going to cause you issues. You can read more about this. So we're gonna come ahead, we're gonna go ahead and use this one. So this, if you are just doing a plain React project, that's fine, but if you will be using style server components, which we're doing actually here, then this won't work. So just a word of caution. All right, so I have already, so not copied, then I'm going to copy it again, and we're going to come here and we're going to do clear this, and I'll paste this and enter. All right, cool. So once that is done, you probably don't need this, and then you're also going to install the Roboto font, and I'm just going to do that quickly. All right, so with the dependencies installed, then what I can do is, let me come here and let's see if we can do, make sure that this works. So typography, save. Okay, so there you go. So no errors. So now if I come here and I do a variant, let's say h1, boom, there you go. So that works. So let's see. Let's just see. So as you can see, if already it's using the Roboto font family, but I think we need to still import those CSS. So we're gonna do this when we create our custom theme. All right, so how do we do this? So let's come here and we're gonna go to the app folder, and I'll create a new folder, and let's just call it theme. You can call it style, whatever you want. And then within it, I'm just gonna create a new file .theme.ts. All right, so here is where I can import the Roboto. So I can say Roboto, and we can say from next font Google, like that. All right, and then we will also import create theme from movie material, and you want to bring it from styles, like that. This should be Roboto. Cool. Now when that is done, then I'm gonna go ahead and copy these, and we will put them here, like that. Okay, with that done, and then we will also create another file right here, and I will call it colors.ts. So this is where you can put your custom colors. I already have a set, and I'm just going to paste them. So primary, secondary, and blah blah blah. All right, cool. So now that we have that, then the other thing we can do is we can say const Roboto is equal to Roboto, and then specify the weight for the fonts. Okay, so different weights. So I'm gonna go with let's say 300. No, I'm not gonna type them, I'm just gonna paste them like that. And then you want to use the subsets, Latin, and then finally the display, we're gonna set that to swap. All right, cool. With that done, then we're gonna come here and create the theme. So I can do const theme is equal to create, and this is where the fun starts. Okay, so let's go with the palette mode, and let's see if we can use our theme. So I'll do mode, let's say of light. Okay, so it's gonna be light mode. So if I come here, I think the default, that's just the Next.js project, the background is black. But let's see if we can switch the mode first to dark or light. So I'm gonna come to my app, and I'll do a component. Okay, and then within this, I'll create another file, and I'll call it theme registry.tsx. And then I can do rfce theme registry.tsx. Well, that's the file. All right, so what's going to be inside of this file? And so I'll show you where it comes from. So let's go to Material UI. We're going to come here, and we are going to go to how to guides, and then you see how there's this Next.js app router. I'm going to come here, and so this is, since the app router is a kind of different way of working, so you need to follow this if you want to create your own theme. And they are actually, you need to create some kind of like a emotion cache, and then you need to provide that to the theme, then you need to provide that to the entire app. So they have this example here, but we are going to come and we're going to use this one. See, theme registry.tsx. I'll copy this as is, and I'll just paste it here. All right, so now there's definitely some problems. So number one is theme. So where is our theme coming from? I am just going to get rid of this, and let's do like this, React. Let's fix this first. So that's one. All right, so number two is they were talking about theme. So since we made our own theme, then we can use that. It looks like we're not exporting it probably. Theme, oh yes, export const theme. Then I can come here and I can do theme, boom, like that. All right, so that fixes that problem. And so now here's a problem. We're talking about props and children. All right, so this is how we will do it. I'm going to comment this out, and then I will do like this, children. Okay, and then we need to tell it what children is. So I'll say children is of type React node. Okay, so that fixes that problem. Okay, so once that is done, then for options, all you have to supply is, I'll do const options is equal to, and it's going to contain a value of key, and we'll set that to MUI like that. Cool. So that fixes that problem. So I don't need this. I'm going to save it. All right. So now it's complaining about this error. So we copied this example here, and that's because there's two defaults. So since we already have this layout right here, we don't need this. So I'm going to get rid of this as well. And there you go. So that error is gone. So we are all green. All right. So now let's come here to our layout. This is our main layout. And we need to provide now this theme to everyone. So I'll do theme registry like that. And then you take this. You're gonna put it here. And I think that should do it. I'm going to remove this. So that's the default Next.js, by the way, stuff. And I don't need this. And I also don't need this. Okay, and let's just do next. Save it. Aha, there you go. So now the okay, so this comes from the global.css, and let's go over here and see what's going on. So if I come here to my global.css, okay, so that's this guy. So let's get rid of that, and also this. Save it. Beautiful. So now as you can see, our theme is kicking in. And if I go back to my theme, here's the fun thing. If I switch it to dark, I refresh, boom, there you go. So that's your dark theme. So it looks like our theme is kicking in, which is amazing. Okay, so the other thing you can do is if I come to my layout, let's say I want to center everything. Actually not. So I'm going to come to my page, and let's now start working here. So I can come here and I can, for example, do container from material UI. Okay, and then we can take everything, put it here. Okay, so there you go. So now it's in a container, and if I move it around, you can see how it's responsive, and you can see this gap. That's pretty cool. All right, so but let's say now I'm going to put this in a box. So you can bring this also, and I'm going to put this in the box. So as you can see, we can bring material UI stuff, and this is a server component, so everything's going to be rendered on the server. I think that's awesome. Okay, so now let's go to go a little bit more advanced. So let's say I'm going to get rid of this, and let's say I want to have a menu here. So how do we do this? Okay, so let's come here to the components. I'm going to create a new file, and let's just call it main menu.tsx, and we will create this. Okay, like that. And then I'll go back here, and let's just do main menu. Cool. So there you go. Our menu is coming, and let's now stylize it. Okay, so before we do that, we're gonna actually come and create a custom component for it. So I'll come here over here to theme, and this is where you can add your custom component. So one thing I'll do is I will just set the typography, and I'll do font family, and it's going to be roboto.style.font family, like that. All right, with that done, now let's go do components, and then I can do something like main menu frame component. But wait a minute, we can't do that. You see, because it's giving error. It's saying we can only specify components that exist within components. So how do we do this? Well, we can do this through something called the module augmentation, and the way it works like this: you do declare module, and I can do add MUI material and do styles. Okay, like that. Then within it, I can say interface components. So this material UI is components interface, and then we can add our main menu frame component to it. Hopefully this should fix our problem. Component. I think that's my problem. Let's make sure we spell this correct. Okay, I can do like this, and there you go. So that error is gone. So let's refresh. Okay, I think I need to save it. Boom. All right, we're in business. All right, so then we're gonna do the style overrides, just like how you do for any component. Okay, and then I can do root. All right, so then I can just set a width on it, and I'll just do 250 pixel and height of 400 pixel, and I'm just gonna do a couple more. So here I'm saying, you know, a border. I need to bring in the colors like that. All right, so we're just simple CSS. The only thing I'm changing the border style. So the top and bottom is going to be ridge, and the left and right is going to be solid. I think that's what it means. And that's the border radius. Now that's exciting. Let's go ahead and use it and see it in action. So come back here, go to our main menu and see how we can use it here. Cool. So let's come here and let's create a box. Okay, it didn't bring it. Let's do it again. There you go. All right, and then what I can do is I can do main menu frame. Okay, but what the heck is main menu frame? Well, this is where you come in and you are going to use it here. So I can do const main menu frame. Okay, and then I can do styled. So this is the emotion thing now. We want to inherit from box. Okay, so I'm going to do box. And then what you want to do is you want to give it a name. So this is our now custom component that we made. So I can do main menu frame component like that. And with slot, we're going to do the root like that. All right, so with that done, then you're going to come here like this. And then we can supply theme if you want, but if you don't want, then just leave it. And like this. I know it's a kind of weird, a lot of brackets and parentheses, but that's how it is. All right, so now it's saying style blah 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 is not defined. So that's because you need to use a use client for this. So this is where I can come here and I can do use client, and let's see, voila, there you go. So now your custom component is coming. How cool is this? That's awesome. All right, so how about we, you know, we're gonna add, since this is a menu, we're gonna be adding buttons here. So let's set ourselves up for that. So for example, if I can do button, and let's say click me, and let me add one more, and click me 2. All right, so they're coming kind of side by side. So now this is where you can just come here. And so let's say you've created the base components, and then we can modify it to, we can modify it even further. So I can do flex direction of column, and align items center. Like that, boom, there you go. And then I can also do justify content center. Aha, how cool is that? All right, so we're just gonna give it some padding, and I can do 6 pixel. Okay, and let's do 8 pixel like that. And then finally, let's give it a gap of 4. All right, so there's a little bit of space. All right, so now these buttons are very ugly, and the other problem is right now, as you can see, if I maximize my screen, it's somewhere here. I want it to be in the center. Okay, so let's come here and fix this problem first, where we put this right in the center. So for this, we go to global.css, and the first thing I'm going to do is on my body, I'm going to give it a full view height. So that's 1. Then I'm going to go to my page, and I can do SX, and let's just do a height of 100% like that. Okay, then I can bring this to the next line, and let's see if I can do this. So I can do display of flex direction of column, and we can do align items center, beautiful, and justify content center. Aha, there you go. So now everything is nicely centered. So that's problem number one. Now problem number two is these buttons are so ugly that I don't want to look at it. So why not go ahead and fix this issue first. So for this, we go back to the theme, and this is where we can create our custom button. All right, so I'm here and I'm gonna come here and I'm going to say game button component. Okay, like that. We're gonna do the same thingy, style overrides. All right, so now it's complaining that, well, what the heck is game component button? So this is where you come and just update our interface. Like so, and everyone is happy. So let me add some properties. Okay, so this is that. So let's add the button and then we can see it in action. So if I come here, as currently we're using the Material UI buttons, but I would like to use our custom buttons. So for that, let's just create a say game button like that, or just a menu button. Menu button.tsx like that, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do menu button, boom, like that. All right, so let's take this now, and no, let's leave it. What I will do first is I'll say const menu button equal to style, exactly like we did before. It's gonna inherit from button. You want to do this because we want to be able to get the click handlers and all that cool stuff. Okay, and then same deal, we're going to give it a name. It's going to be menu. All right, so okay, so that's going to be a problem. So let's do game button. Okay, then can I come here and then do game button? So let's just do click me like that. So far nothing has happened because we're not using it. I want to make sure we have named it correctly. So I'll just go, you know what, let's just call it game button. I'm gonna copy it. I'll go back to my theme. Yeah, there you go. So that's correct. Just pasted it for good measures. So if I go to my menu now, we're not using it. So let's use it. This is cool, exciting. So I'll do game button. What do we call it? I'm gonna change this to game button. Sorry for the confusion, but yeah. Okay, so if I do now game, okay, so something's not right. We can't import the button. Let me save it. I'll go to menu button, game menu. This will be called game button, like that. All right, so what's going on? Export default function. All right, so export default function menu button, so that's fine. And let's see what's going on. So if I come here, I can do game menu button. There you go. If I'm gonna save it. All right, so I think I renamed this to game menu, I think an excitement. So we're just gonna leave it at main menu. Yeah, so I shouldn't be changing these. There you go. So that fixes that. And then if I go to my menu button, that's the menu button, and it says click me. If I update it, okay, so that gets updated. All right, so now let's stylize this button a bit because it looks boring. Okay, so one thing I will do is I'm going to change the color, and we'll do colors dot white. That's the font color. Boom, that changes. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's go to theme and let's fix this here. Okay, so here I am gonna come here and let's give it a border top, and we are gonna make it 1 pixel solid, and let's do colors colors dot lime green, like that. So there you go. So that's your one border. And I'm gonna do border left. Okay, and then it's gonna be the same story. So we're gonna do this. Okay, like that. Okay, and let's give it a background. It's going to be colors dot secondary. I think I need to put a comma here. Okay, let's do this. So it's just to give it that shadow kind of effect. Okay, and now to create there's so many ways of doing it, but the way I found it is if you use clip path, then you can do a pretty cool effect. So I can do polygon. Okay, and then so the way it works is like this. So you kind of go clockwise. Okay, so what I'm saying is from the top, I'm going to move 4% in the x-axis and the y will be 0. So just bear with me, it's gonna come alive. And then we go to the next side. Then I'm going to do 100% and then 0. Okay, so that's coming. And then I'm going to do for the next one 100%. I'll explain it once I write it. 80%. Okay, and then what I can do is I can say 94% and then 100%. Okay, and then finally we do 0 and 100%. Sorry, one more, and we do 0, 20%. Okay, so it took me a while to figure this out, but there you go. That's the kind of look what we're looking for. So what we're saying is 4% in the x-axis and then y 0. Then you move here 100, 100. So 100% and then y is still 0. Then again you move, you're at 100% in the x-axis, but we move down 80%. And then finally 94% in the x-axis, but y is still 100, and like that. So I hope you get the idea. So that's how you do it. Now the other thing I want to do is on hover, you see how this comes. I don't like this. So the way you do this is you're gonna come here, you will do and hover. Okay, and then what I do is I say border none. So let's try this. Yes. Okay, and we'll give it a background of colors dot primary. Let's try this. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. So we're done with the theme thingy and we don't need these. I'm gonna close all this. All right, and we're gonna come here and let's change this a bit. So what's going on here? We'll save it. And let's go ahead now. See, the thing is I've hard-coded the name. It'll be nice if we can pass this. So let's do two things. The first thing is title. Oh, title. And also we need to be notified when the button is clicked. So I can do on button click. Okay, so now we need to say what these are since we're using TypeScript. So I can say titles of type string, and on button click is a function that returns a void. Now we need to be able to pass this back to whoever calls so they know what button they clicked. So I can say param string, and then in here I can do title, and then I can do on click is equal to on button click, and you pass the param. Cool, that's pretty cool. All right, so I think it's title like that. Okay, so now it's going to complain because like, hey man, supply the stuff. So we can say title. I'll say new game. Whoop. And then we can say on button click, and let's just do handle button click. So now what is handle button click? Well, that's going to be this, and it's going to be param. So let's for now just do console.log param like that, and it's a string. Okay, I'm going to save, and there you go. So if I go to my console, new game, great. So that's working. And now the beauty of this is I can come here and I can just copy this, and I can do So let me quickly type these. Awesome. So as you can see, we got our buttons, and I think they look fabulous. It'd be nice to give this guy a little bit of a box shadow. So that's going to be this guy. And there's your box shadow. All right. So now let's give this guy that background that I have in my thingy. So for that, I come over to public. We'll create a new folder. Let's call it images. And then I'll copy that and just paste it here. Okay, so then we are going to set it here. And the way I did it is, no need to type it. I'm sure you guys know this by now, but what I have is basically a background, and I'm saying a radial gradient of circle, and from the middle to the outside, and then provide the URL of the image. So boop, there you go. So that is that. Now it'd be nice to display what button was clicked. So I don't need this anymore. So one thing you might be seeing is if I come here to my game button, you see it doesn't have a use client, but we are still able to do the on click and all. That's because the main menu has a use client and it's just like passed on to these guys. So that's why it's working. Okay, so for that, we can just quickly come here and do selection, set selection, and we will do use state from React, and then I can do here set selection to param like that. Now it's going to complain, so what you do is just string or undefined. I should fix that. Finally, I will come here and I will typography variant, let's just do h3, and let's just play this. Not parent, param, sorry, selection like that. All right, so new game, continue. Okay, this thing is not in center, so how do we do this? Easy peasy. Just come here and flex just so flex direction column. Okay, and then we're gonna do align items center, and there you have it. And you can also do, for example, text transform, and I will do capitalize, or you can do uppercase. There you have it. Cool. Okay, so I hope you guys learned something on how to use Next.js with Material UI. Very powerful. I mean, I love Material UI. It's simple, gets the work done. But yeah, so please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll be back with another exciting tutorial.